Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm going to guide everyone to get set up for the Talkback. If you wish to view the entire Her creative team during the Talkback, you can actually change your Zoom setting to gallery view. I just want to take a moment to introduce the Her team. I know we can't hear you, but so first of all, I'd like to introduce one of our directors and playwrights for Sweet Love, the scene that you just saw, Melanie Alexander. Can you wave to everyone? Yay! And then I would like to introduce you to one of our amazing actresses that acted with me in the last scene, Kelly Rogers. Kelly, can you wave to everyone? Okay, great. Now I want to introduce you to our another amazing actress, Marissa Pistone, who was in 2 of the scenes, the first scene and the middle scene. Marissa, can you wave to everybody? I can't see your box, so I'm assuming you're waving. And then I want to introduce you to Jenny Kephart. She wrote Solutions. She's the playwright for Solutions, and she also was in the scene. And then she was also in the give and receive scene that I wrote with me. So wave, Jenny Kephart. Yay! And last but not least, I want to introduce you to Sam Sintef, who was the amazing director of Give and Receive with me and Jenny. And she's also our extraordinary technical director. So the woman behind the curtain this whole time. Can you wave to us, Sam? I know, like, yeah, wave. Yay, Sam! Sam is going to be facilitating the Talkback and communicating to us any questions you ask. So take it away, Sam. Take it away. All of these amazing people's faces that I see.
How did you choose the stories?
That's a good question. I can share a little bit about that. So to be honest, we just decided that we wanted to do some short scenes. And I had a couple of scenes that I submitted to this Disney fellowship. So they were already proofread and everything. So I'm like, let's do these 2 scenes. And they had 2 women in them. And then Jenny, why don't you share a little bit about your piece that you submitted and how that got added into the mix?
So I'm in the middle of writing a show in general, but I didn't have any scenes with 2 women. And so I was like, well, I guess this is a good opportunity to write one. So I did. So the scene that I wrote is actually from a bigger kind of show that I'm writing. And that I sent it to Carly and she said, let's do it. So that's how that happened.
I feel like the first thing I said is, this is awesome, just to be clear, and then let's do it. And Melanie, why don't you share a little bit about how you got pulled into the mix?
I got pulled into the mix because Carly texted me and said, do you want to write a scene for our theater company? And I was tentatively involved in Her from its inception because I was cast in your first play that you guys did, and I broke my foot, so I wasn't able to do it. So of course I was really excited to be able to write. And then she asked me to direct, and I was like, yeah, that's so crazy because this is Zoom and there's so many weird technical stuff, and trying to figure out how to make it interesting and look interesting while having no control over the camera or the mics. But yeah, it was cool. I was super excited to join. And you guys, we passed the Bechdel test. If you don't know what that is, it's a test designed to ask a couple questions about scenes in movies mostly. And it's like in a scene with 2 women, in order for it to pass, they can't be talking about a man. It can't be like that the female characters are just there to sort of talk about the male protagonist. So I feel like tonight, every single scene was like, check on the Bechdel test. So
thank you for sharing that. That's so awesome. I didn't even know that that was a test, but we passed it.
A statue and, like create an award for that.
And something I want to say, just to make sure everyone gets what an extraordinary writer that Melanie is literally, I said, could you write a scene for Kelly and I? And I gave her a gist of what the other 3 scenes were about. So she specifically wrote for us in mind, which was so cool. It was really, really awesome. It was such an honor to get to perform something that was written for me and for us. It was really cool.
It was really cool to write something for two people that I know Kelly not as well as I know Carly, but I know Kelly. So it was cool to be able to imagine the two of you together and write something that I thought you could have a lot of fun with.
Cool. I think next question, Sam.
All right, our next question is, are you all in your own homes doing this? Yes.
We're actually all in my mansion that I've bought for us in separate rooms. I'm reporting to you live from the Panza Medoc bedroom. Where are you, Kelly? Everybody tell where you're at.
I'm in the second bedroom, which basically serves as a house for my cat who has a cone on and is recovering. So that's where I am.
Oh, she's in Culver City. I'm in Lincoln Heights.
Yeah, LA. I'm in LA in my house.
Melanie, Jenny, Marissa.
I'm in Silver Lake.
I'm in my dining room in North Hollywood.
I'm over in Santa Monica at the piano bar.
So we kind of got all the, I just realized we kind of got all the corners of Los Angeles covered. And I know this wasn't part of the question, but we did, all of this was rehearsed and directed safely with social distancing in place. We literally did every rehearsal and every meeting on Zoom. And that was cool and a trip.
Was it a conscious decision to omit men from all the scenes? And if so, why?
Yes. Well, you know, so far of all the stuff that we've done at her theater company, it's all been written and performed and directed by women. So since we have our team and it's all women, it was a choice. I think it might be a little different if we were all in person and if we were doing a different show. I think our original plan was to do an LGBTQ plus modern day retelling of Romeo and Juliet, and we were definitely planning on having some male actors in that. But then Corona hit and changed a lot of plans. So yes, nothing, just to be clear, nothing against men. My amazing husband was the assistant stage manager to Sam, keeping the integrity of the sound. So yeah, and if you guys want to say anything about that, I think.
I can pop in. I think just speaking for Sunday on the Rocks, which was, I guess that was our first show through this company. Which was a play that I had found. I specifically wanted to focus on something originally that was only women, just because I really liked the playwright first of all, but also in like acting classes and auditions and, you know, scene work and all that stuff, I found it very difficult to find like good fleshed out scenes that passed the Bechdel test between all women. And so I kind of saw that as a challenge to, you know, put on work by women for women that didn't rely on, you know, your traditional romances or your traditional meet cutes and stuff like that. And so I think that's something that we've kind of just like continued on and rolled with and, you know, see how far we can go.
I thought it was necessity, sorry, because it was just like, you guys are the founding members. I'm sort of you know, involved, and I thought we were just writing scenes for the actors that you guys had in the company, and it just happened to be that we're all women. And but I second Marissa's opinion. I think that's a better explanation.
I think it was great what you said. I think it's out of necessity, but I also think it's a preference. The mission of the company is to elevate underrepresented female artists in the theater community. So that's going to be the main focus of the work we choose to do.
Next question. Have you discovered anything new in your acting after performing on Zoom?
Why don't I? Jenny,
yeah,
why don't we?
I started doing Zoom classes with a theater company right when the pandemic hit. And so because I've been acting on Zoom since March. I'm apparently the expert, which is kind of hilarious. Even though all of these women went to college for acting and have much more experience and credibility than me in that department. But I was like not going to do anything on camera or Zoom. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. This is not a thing. I hate looking at myself on camera. I hate, all of that. And what I have discovered over the past several months, and then also specifically in preparing for this, is that it's really crazy how present you can be with your partner to the point where you almost don't think that there's a screen between you. It's actually so much more similar for me than I thought it would be, because it's really all about that connection with the other person. And when we're, working with, like if I'm working with Carly, or I only see her on my screen, and I think it's like a whole other level of really connecting with another person. And I think it's just been really fun and very, very surprising for me.
Marissa, Kelly?
Not so much things I found new, but things I had to remember, because I haven't gotten to perform or act in 6 months, and you need a little refresher on some skills that you lost. I also think it's made me, I agree with everything Jenny said. It's also made me excited for when we can act in person again. I think during one rehearsal we said, like, hey, upside, if we can form a connection over the screen, just wait how it's going to feel when we can actually be in person again. It's going to be crazy. So it's given me more appreciation for when we can be live again. I'm excited. And also, it was a good exercise in being focused and connecting from miles away.
I'd say that it was definitely a trip to try to navigate this new medium, because it's definitely not film and it's definitely not theater. It's some weird creature in between. There's so many more like technical aspects of it that you wouldn't think about. Like, you're on speaker view and you have to get the camera to look at you first by making a sound. And like, it's a whole different thing to like think about. And trying to connect with somebody who's not physically in the room is always strange and weird, but it's just been a weird little adventure. It's very different. That's all I have to say.
Oh, it sounds funny. I actually thought acting on Zoom that it would feel robotic and that I would have trouble connecting or feeling like I was acting. But when we started doing tech and when we would do rehearsals, I discovered, oh, I was affected. Oh, okay, this works here too. This is so strange, but hey.
So we have our last question. If we didn't get to your questions, by all means, please send us an email and we'll definitely get back to you. But this is a good question to end on. Do you have any plans for other Zoom performances in the future?
Good question. Well, we purposefully named this Her Voices, a virtual performance series, because we actually have talked about that it would be cool to do something like this once a month, once every couple months. One night we've talked about doing monologues. We've talked about doing another chunk of scenes or maybe pieces from plays already written. We definitely want to keep it short because I think everyone during this time is getting very zoomed out. But what do you think? Why don't you share, all of you ladies, Jenny, Kelly, Marissa, Melanie, like what we've talked about or ideas you've had about for future virtual shows?
I know my personal stance on it is, we're performers, we want to perform and we want to be connecting with people. So if this is the way to do that and however long this lasts, then we'll do more. If I think when we have the opportunity to do it live, I think that would be the primary focus. But in the meantime, I think, we're gonna keep making the art however we need to make it. So if this continues, then that we will be back, and we are maybe not done. So expect to see another one.
I think a lot of us thought that after a month or two, things would be back to normal. And now that this seems to be the reality, possibly until spring of next year, we're like, okay, I guess we're going to adapt with the times. But
I'm
anyway,
really
Melanie.
sorry. I'm really encouraged by everyone who showed up and is here. And I also was really excited that our run time was only about 30 minutes. And yeah, just working on the scenes and doing rehearsals, I just really had no idea how it was going to work or how it was going to go directing Carly and Kelly. And then I was like, oh, there's just so much to do here. You know, it's almost like combining film and theater without having hardly any control over the filming aspect. And so I am so excited for the next piece that we do. And I liked the brevity of it. And I'm really excited that so many people came live to support us. And it's really meaningful and it's really nice to see your faces. So thank you so much. I'm done.
Jenny, Marissa, any closing thoughts?
That's all I want to say is that I think that I think the thing that I love about this particular theater company is it's very emergent and it's very much based on we're responding to what feels good to us, to what we want and to what we feel people want and to what we feel is going to make a difference. And so, you know, I think we're probably always going to regroup and reflect and look together. And I think it's one of the things I love is that it's such an organic process and it's such a team-based process. And I just think it really represents the best of what women do when we get together in groups. So that's just all I wanted to say about who knows what's next, but I trust in the leadership of the company that it will be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just
bring it home, Marissa.
Oh, okay, great. Here we go. I just say that this has just been a great creative outlet in a time where I feel like, at least for myself, and I think a lot of people share similar feelings, where it's just you kind of need something to do and like some sort of escapism and something to work on, especially in this in this field, in this entertainment industry has been on hold for so long. And it's scary not knowing if things are coming back, and when they do come back, if it's, how different it's going to be, and just finding a new medium to tell stories that so many people are willing to come out and support has been just so beautiful. And being able to connect with all these wonderful women, even through these weird little screens, has just been amazing. And I'm feel very grateful that I've had the opportunity to do this and to maintain some sort of creative outlet.
Thank you. Thank you all. Amazing audience from afar, from near and afar. We love you. Thank you for coming. Really.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love all of you. Such good work.